Thanks for staying with us here on TVC Breakfast. Oops, I can see a very big cake right in front of me, taking most of my view. but that's the spirit of Christmas. Right now, let's get down to brass tacks by looking at what the Nation newspaper says. 2,000 federal government tractors moved to farms January. BOA, 110,000 applicants to be pruned to 2,000. How they will be maintained, multiplied. Next is the Hope newspaper. Adeleke on cliffhanger as crisis rocks Accord Party. Party's faction produces another Guber candidate. Clement Bamigbola, Osun Governor, jittery over Oyebamiji's political clouds. APC. Next is the Abuja Inquirer. Coups, regional stability dominate ECOWAS Abuja meet. More arrests in Benin. Nigeria News Direct. Opposition leaders flag concern over alleged plot to cripple Nigeria's multi-party democracy. Accused Tinubu administration of weaponizing anti-graft agencies. Next is this Nigerian newspaper. 2027, it's turn of the South, says ADC chieftain El-Rufai. As opposition leaders warn of danger of one-party state, they are just blowing hot air. Presidency counters claims. Platform Times. Federal government deploys AI to expose hidden wealth of public officials. New platform to replace outdated manual asset declarations by 2026. Unexplained wealth will trigger automatic alerts for further investigation. Next is the Blueprint newspaper. A kid survived on mud water. Tuon Jero and Mian Kuka once daily. Wants those still in captivity freed for Christmas. Next is the Leadership newspaper with the headline, West African leaders unite against schools, violent extremism. And we also have calls grow for president to reject central gaming bill. Next is the Nature News newspaper. Sun exposed plastic bottle drinks hazardous. Last Copa. And last but not least is the Sport and Life. 2025 AFCON, Uzoho, Nwabali are early birds as Eagles open camp in Cairo. Dele Bashiru, New Boy Akin Somiro to Lukman Ajayi for others expected last night. I'll be doing this with my colleagues Olamide, Ria, and indeed with the overall
piece of cake.
and overall insight, giving us some deep insight into it will be Biodun Shomi. Let me start off with you, Olamide Odekule. 2,000 federal, talking about the Nation newspaper, 2,000 federal government tractors moved to farms January, and then we had over 110,000 applicants, which will now be pruned down to 2,000. But one thing is, it is not the first time we are deploying tractors. 2,000 out of the 10,000 which will be rolled over, which will be spread across the period of 10, for the period of 10 years. So we are bringing in the tractors, but we are not giving it farmers directly. We'll also be giving it to those who will be managing the tractors on behalf of the farmers. But all the same, it's a good news.
It's a good news, but when you compare 2,000 tractors, it sounds great, but we have about 30 million smallholder farmers in Nigeria. So I have to ask the question, is this a structural and systemic change for these smallholder farmers who every day are struggling, still in subsistence farming in some areas,
right.
Or is this just symbolic intervention?
Yeah, for me, like I always say, even these tractors that you're saying, I hope they get to them. I hope that the people that the tractors are supposed to get to actually get to them, because oftentimes we hear things like this, but it doesn't, really take place. You just hear the stories and you don't see it happening. Farming is very important. If we make farming easy for these people, we get more food to eat. Everybody survives by eating, and you're just in your house eating the food, but you don't know how it happens. You don't know the amount of work that these farmers put together to make sure that you're eating. As we're giving them tractors as well, let's look into their security. Let's make sure that they are also able to farm and do not face any challenges there. So for me, it's a good one. The numbers are looking okay. More can be done. I'm Oliver too. I'm always asking for more because we have a whole lot of people. So we say 2,000, right? It's a good number, but we still need more for more farmers. And we should look at farmers in other areas as well, other rural areas that do not even ever think that they will have something like that to push them.
Right. This is an offshoot of the conversation, the relationship Nigeria had with Brazil, bringing in more tractors into the country, and then will be given to be managed by I've forgotten what they call them. They call them Central something Service. I'll look for the name. But what's your overview your analysis regarding this?
I think this is a major development. I mean, if you look at the problems we faced in terms of foreign exchange earnings.
Okay, sorry, they are called tractor service centers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Take away two things. Take away PMS, from Forex, and take away grains from Forex. You'll be saving this country more than $20 billion. Grains alone, $5 billion a year. We're importing grains from Ukraine, war-torn country, from Russia, engage in war with Ukraine.
Yeah.
So what stops us from producing these grains ourselves? You can see the prices of grains are now coming down. And it's simply because we are being more proactive. Now, with 2,000 tractors injected into this economy, believe me, I think within the next 6 months to 1 year, we will see prices of foodstuff, tumbling down. The importance of tractor is this. It's not just giving people the seeds. The cost of clearing ground is the major problem many farmers are facing. Talk to farmers. I mean, it costs a huge amount of money, to clear the ground. And so government intervention in this way will help to ease the burden that the farmers are facing, while at the same time we're able to focus on producing more food.
I think you're a farmer yourself,
so you should I'm
know
like,
better.
maybe one tractor will go for him.
I'm a farmer myself, but I don't know whether I've gotten to that level. I'm a farmer, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
So, but I'm not sure whether I've gotten to that level.
What are you doing? Are you farming engagement?
I'm into cocoa farming, and don't let me just blow my trumpet. All right, then. So let's talk about the Hope newspaper and this politics of theme. Adeleke on Cliffhanger as crisis rocks Accord Party. Party's faction produces another Guber candidate, Clement Bamigbola. So we were all not excited, but at least... Okay.
I wasn't excited though. But
when I say excited, I mean it's good that Adeleke left the PDP, the belligerent people, party within the PDP now going to Accord Party. Now Accord is now factionalized because it's more like Accord, nobody heard about Accord that much. Now you're getting into Accord and then you're beginning to split it into two.
Absolutely. Smaller niche parties like the Accord Party, they are usually an alternative for people who want to leave the mainstream political parties, right? They want to leave the main APC, PDP rivalry. I don't want to focus on these big heavyweight politicians. I want to focus on the electorate who often feels abandoned in these conversations. We have our politicians going at one another at the neck, at the jugular, and you have an electorate that is wondering who really speaks for them. Just last week we spoke about how the Accord Party was scandal-free, about how the Accord Party, I will not say they had a stainless white, but they had sort of a reputation of being fairly stable. And see that Adeleke has now joined. And he was supposed to bring some sort of good press for them and add positivity and see that it's happening now. My question is, the electorate feels abandoned and that's not great. When these politicians go at one another, the electorate suffers for it, and it's as simple as that.
No parties actually stand up.
Our priorities were focused on the wrong thing.
For me, I'll say that nowhere is cool. That's what I'll say. Let's not forget that there were speculations that he wanted to get into APC, but it didn't happen, and then he had to go to the Accord. Let's not forget that. Let me also remind you, remember that Shinopela was in the Accord and he left. So I'm sure there were reasons why he left the Accord, reasons best known to him. For Adeleke and Accord, when I heard the news first, I was comme si comme ça about it, because I'm like, this is the first time Accord will have like a sitting, person like that, a sitting governor join them. But then again, what was he really thinking? I'm sure he didn't think that he was just going to get there and be celebrated and everybody will put him on a chair and like, this is the president. There were also people in the party as well. So for me, I'm like, let everybody have a fair chance. It's so sad to see this happening, but I was really expecting it, because there'll be some people that wouldn't want him, there will be some people that want him. Everybody's not just going to truly support him like that. And I hear that this Clement is somebody that the people in Accord Party, really, really like. So we just have to keep our fingers crossed and see what happens. But if he was expecting to get there and be celebrated, I think that would have been a wrong thing for him to think.
Mr. Showme, you answer that, vis-a-vis the papers. Now, because of our time, Nigerian News Direct said opposition leaders flag concern over alleged plot to cripple Nigeria's multi-party democracy. They are closely related, and they are accusing President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, of mastermind weaponizing anti-graft agencies. And I ask the question: if you do not have, how do say, toba leboleru, I don't know how that is said in English, but then if there is no cockroach in your cupboard, or if there is no skeleton rather in your cupboard, then you won't be hounded by anti-graft agencies. The same thing for this Nigeria. 2027 is the turn of the South, says ADC chieftain El Rufai. Is that a blow against the Atiku's candidacy? So I wanted to answer that in just one fell swoop.
Look, what you see in Nigeria is we are weaponizing political indolence in Nigeria. How do you argue that because a governor leaves a party and that party will collapse? What about other people in that party?
That's right. That's right.
Why should the party collapse?
Now they are looking at the wealth, the wealth of the states being controlled by the governor. So when the governor moves into a party, it goes along with all the paraphernalia, everything.
But we also know that it's not a solution. Okay, look at the case of Accord Party in Osun State. Now there are people in that party keeping that party going all along, and you suddenly have a governor who wants to use the platform, rightly or wrongly. He chose to do that, and some people within the party agreed with him. Now the question is this: what happens to members of that party that have been contesting all along? The governor is coming in with all the PDP members,
That's right.
Into Accord Party. Are they automatically going to get the tickets? How do you blame Tinubu for that situation? Look, it's quite clear. It's something they have to work out. It's something they should have negotiated and split it one way or the other to avoid the kind of situation we are seeing.
I think the aspect of blaming Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the fact that they said he's weaponizing the anti-graft agencies. Like if someone is moving to another party, then they start threatening the person like, you have corrupt cases, so if you do not probably join our party or anything, we're going to incarcerate you or something.
Perhaps your hand should have been clean.
Exactly, your hand should not be deep inside the cage.
I remembered when EFCC was created by the former president Olusegun Obasanjo. The same accusations came up. Obasanjo was weaponizing EFCC, using it against the opponent. Now, I remember Ribadu clearly made it clear that time, he was the chairman of EFCC, that EFCC has never tampered or touched anybody who had...
On the basis of politics.
On the basis of politics, who have no questions to answer in relation to public funds.
That's right.
It's the same situation. Look, you can't keep saying that... What are we trying to say? Are we saying that EFCC should leave people simply because they're in the opposition party and they've stolen money? Or allegedly, or they're in the ruling party and being protected? I mean, they should just leave the institutions to work.
Because of our time, I want you to also answer the fact that El-Rufai is saying is the son of the South, and the fact that he will only contest in 2031. And this is an ADC where he's a member of. Atiku Abubakar is positioning himself as the next president.
He knows.
Is that not saying that Atiku, I will not support you, even though we are in the same party?
No, he's not saying he's not supporting Atiku. What he's saying clearly is that Atiku probably, you are only doing one term. Just like Obi said, he will only do one term. And he's positioning himself against 2031. And then he's reinforcing the issue that, look, it's the turn of the South now. Turn of the South is looking at having to contest with another person, having somebody else who we all suspect, to be his running mate in 2031. So therefore, it's up to Atiku, whatever you do with your 2027 ticket, whether you get it or not, but we know it's the turn of the South. It's more or less reaching out, to a particular
Olamide and Ria, let's move on to the platform times. Federal government is deploying AI to expose hidden wealth of public officials. A new platform to replace outdated manual asset declarations by 2026. Unexplained wealth will trigger automatic alerts for further investigation. The AGF, Lateef Fagbemi, has also appeared, before, the Code of Conduct Bureau, declaring his own assets, and they said that's leadership. And those public servants who are not able to declare their own, to explain their wealth, they've confiscated some of this wealth, will be forfeited and all of that. And if you don't declare, you also forfeit. Declare or you forfeit your assets.
Absolutely. I believe that since the advent of artificial intelligence, the question that we've all asked ourselves is, will AI be ethical? How is it going to help us further than displacing human beings? And we're seeing that display here. Nigerians, we've spoken about this before, they have a problem with documentation. We clearly have a problem and a dislike for auditing and for clarification of processes and for paper trails. And so if AI has to do that job for us, then it's great. And it's a shame that they have to employ artificial intelligence to have more of a conscience than leaders that should be openly declaring their assets.
Ria, let me take you to the blueprint.
But
I know you're very eager to talk about that.
Quickly. Thank God that I'm Hausa AI, so maybe I might get for the Hausa people. But I want to say something quickly. At the end of the day, if you are given a political position, I think that politicians need to understand, and they might hold me for this. It's not for you to become a billionaire. It's not for you to do that. It's for your people. So declaring the asset is something that I really feel is important. Before you enter, declare it. When you are leaving, declare it. And now, I know that AI will do the job, but the thing is that the accurate information, is that what they'll give us? Because AI will give us accurate information, but the humans that are going to manage that AI now, what do they get to do?
So it's what you feed in.
Exactly, it's what you feed in that will come out.
But AI is actually very intelligent to the extent that the person who, creates recuperated, he said we are in deep soup because this thing seems to be way out of our hands.
And if this thing, AI is actually required to report crimes that happen.
Absolutely. So depending on how you
and I feel like if this
be.
works well, it will be very good to monitor these people and the amount of money that
Let us move on to the Blueprint newspaper. I wanted to give you this before, but let me take it to
what's that? No, please give it to me.
I'm not going to give it to you. Parents of rescued Niger school children. Our kids survived on mud water. Tuwon Jero and Miyan Kuka.
That is Tuwon Jero and Miyan Kuka.
So I wanted to give it to you.
For me.
I wanted to give it to you, but you said.
But there's a Miyan Kuka.
I wasn't going to give it to you.
No, you can buy it.
So and then they also want those still in captivity freed for Christmas. Chief of Defense Staff or Chief of the Air Staff says charges 350,000, 439 newly recruited soldiers on courage and discipline.
Honestly speaking, we need to do a lot more to make sure that these kids and the remaining kids are back home.
That's right.
And we must praise the military, the security services for what they have been doing so far and ensuring the release of many of those children. But we need the rest back home. They're living in very terrible condition, living on Jero and bad water, polluted water and all that. So so far, so good, but we need to get the rest children back home. So I'm sure government will do a lot more, to ensure that these kids are freed.
It's so sad that it's so sad that you see Sunache Miyan Kuka. Like, look at the things that it's in mud water, 210, and it's like what other children are out there eating great things. Like, these are not the great things to eat, but look at what they're going through. And that's why, Mr. Biodun, when we were celebrating some that have come out, I'm like, you cannot celebrate some when some are still in captive. We're getting into the holiday period. I just pray that the soldiers that are being put, the officers that are being put, should just try their best to make sure that all the children are released. We should not enter 2027 still saying that this children have not.
You're very, very correct. Olamide, very quickly, Nature News newspaper says sun-exposed plastic bottled drinks hazardous. You see soft drinks, you see water in bottled water being displayed, on the roads, along the traffic jam and all of that, and all of these things are exposed to, sun. Even our cars, sometimes when you packed them inside the sun, it emits some kind of benzene, which is very carcinogenic to our body system. Lascopa is shouting, he's talking about this, but exactly what are we doing to take out all of this?
Lascopa, I expect new groundbreaking research on you. Tell me something I don't know. Unfortunately, because of our insecurity crisis and because we're facing so much more serious matters arising, Nigeria is way behind on the climate change conversation. We know that microplastics are dangerous. We know that they're not only killing us, but they're killing our nature around us, and in turn, they're taking revenue away from our plates. We have to take these things very, very seriously. It's not enough to just show up at these climate change conversations. When I've forgotten his name, Minister of Water and Water. What's his Water Resources, Commissioner for Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab, came out and he spoke about the ban on single-use plastics, and everybody was against it. Exactly. There's so much more we could do about this conversation. Take your life seriously. Please.
All right, then let's move on to the very last paper, and this to you, Show me very quickly if you can.
Does he like sports?
Of course, he's a sports person.
You like sports?
2025 AFCON. I think you're a Liverpool
supporter, yes.
My grandmother is from Liverpool.
We have to go.
Manchester.
We have to go. Zoho Nwambali are early birds, so we'll be looking at Eagles Open Camp in Cairo, Dele Bashiru, New Boy Akinsomiro, and two, and then Lukman Ajayi for others expected last night. We're all gearing up for the AFCON 2025 AFCON. So I don't know how optimistic are you, for this football, for this match? Quickly.
Tell me Victor Osimhen is coming.
Victor Osimhen, I can't really say because if he's going to be coming, I guess he will be coming. I guess his name will have been.
Mr. Biodun, have you heard of good predictions?
No.
No, it's not time for predictions.
No, I know. I'm just letting him know. So when it's time,
Ria and a crystal ball. That crystal ball will get you problems very soon. All right, that's about it for the newspapers up for review. Still ahead.